Today on the Magnificently Huge podcast, Eddington.
Welcome to the Magnificently Huge podcast with your hosts, Eric Reed, Brian Kruger, and Chris Ryerson. Three idiots who decided to slap an adverb together with an adjective to bring you one magnificently huge discussion each week about the movies and pop culture we kinda like, maybe even secretly love, before we ultimately crap all over them. We're not here to save the world, we're just here to make it weirder, one podcast at a time. This is Magnificently Huge.
Years ago, when I was in college, there was a protest by students, not for ending apartheid in South Africa or no nukes or anything worthwhile like that. It was students protesting the increase in tuition costs because selfishness. But I remember a kid coming into a classroom I was in to tell the teacher he wouldn't be able to make class that day because they were going to do a sit-in at the dean's office. And he said it like he was off to battle. Then he righteously raised his fist in a power to the people kind of way to the rest of us and left the room like a douchebag. Did I mention he was holding a bullhorn? He wasn't using the bullhorn, but he was holding a bullhorn. Idiot. And I bring that kid up because he wasn't doing his protest for any reason but his own self-esteem. I think that's a big part of the movie we're watching today, Eddington. In this movie, set during the COVID pandemic, everyone is anxious about the state of the world, and they all want to do something, but they don't know what. But the one thing they don't want to do is listen to anyone else, and that's when shit goes bad. A dark comedy about our times that I don't think anyone was ready for, and that pissed off almost all of the people who needed to hear its message. More is the pity. So let's talk Eddington. Hey y'all, what's up?
Hey.
What up? What up?
Magnificently
What
Huge
up?
Podcast.
What up? Yeah, that's us. My name's Chris.
My name's Eric.
My name's Brian.
Oh, Robot Roll Call. If we can steal from
Yay.
another much better show. There you go.
Hey, I just read a news story that I want to share because I love it. I got to tell you, I love Gen Z. I think Gen Z has figured out the shit. There's a story of apparently corporations are having trouble finding people to take the managerial track. They want because of work-life balance. They're like, I'll just do my job. Thank you.
Right.
I don't want to have to take on the stress of managing people just, for a couple of extra dollars a year. And so now they're having trouble filling those positions. I love it. I love that they're like, you know what? No, fuck you. I don't think that I'll shorten my life just so that the company can, do slightly
Selling
better.
later.
Yeah.
Oh.
Selling widgets.
It goes along with that whole thing. What did they call it? Quiet quitting, where it's like, no, I'm not going to work my ass off in case you notice it. Fuck you. Yeah. Gen Z, you figured it out. I love you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Like those memes like, well, why do you want to work for this company? Because I want to get a paycheck. Yeah.
Because I
Literally
like paying
the
for
only
my
reason
my
I'm
stuff.
doing this.
I had a job interview once where they said, so why do you want to work here? And I was like, because you're hiring. I read it in the paper that you like. I was so blown away by the question. I didn't know how to answer it. And it was pretty much over right then.
Yeah. It sucks when you're in middle management too, because the expectation is you're really going to sell it. And it's just like, I've been where you're coming in and, good luck. It's basically how I feel. So I might have a little bit of a Gen Z vibe because I'm all about work-life balance. And if work starts to take over, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Beyond that, you're given what responsibility really means. If your boss fucks something up, you're going to get fired. I don't care so much about the work-life balance as I do the likelihood of getting dismissed. And when you are junior or middle management, watch your ass. That's all. Just become a specialist. You're much safer being a specialist.
Well, I like that Gen Z also gets a lot of shit because they're not really participating in the disposable tech culture. And so companies like Apple complain when people aren't buying a new phone every year. It's like, if my phone will run for 5 years, why would I buy anything else until it dies.
Well, given that it
why-
costs
that they're
5 times
going-
as much as it used to, it better.
Yeah.
Or that they're going into physical media again, so that
Yeah.
like Amazon
God bless
can't
them.
just decide you don't have that movie anymore.
Yeah. I think people finally figured out, oh, I'm going to buy it, quote unquote. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they yank it. It's
Well-
like, fuck you. Give me my money back.
So that a lot of that has to do with the enshittification cycle and the introduction of
Yeah. Yeah.
ads. Like the thing that made Netflix so appealing was that you could watch all that stuff and there was no ads, and so you got away from that. And now it's
Now
like
there are.
I'm still paying cable rates for my internet connection, and then I'm paying for the streaming service, and then I'm still seeing ads, and it's like, well, why am I paying you if you're also advertising to me? That used to not be how we did this.
The premium package is now what was the basic package.
Yeah.
That's the problem with
Now,
these
even the
people.
premium package with no ads has ads. Like, it's nonsense.
I love the fact though that like on YouTube, because I don't pay up for any of the no ad stuff, because it's like, don't extort me for my time. Just fuck off. I'll watch my cat video and move on with my day. But everything starts with that like ad, and then you see the clock ticker. And so now I just watch it until they give you the option to click next, and then I
who
move
doesn't?
on. And then it gives you the next. I'm like, so why would you even provide that as an option if you're really just paying for everything with the ads? It's like, so does the company look at the thing and go, how many seconds were people watching this ad before they left?
So
I mean, it's just like, that's insane.
The opening episode of the Max Headroom series from the 80s, the evil corporations were introducing a thing called blipverts, which were 30 seconds of advertising crammed down into like 10 seconds. And it was so overwhelming, it made people's like heads explode. And
I love that. I loved
like
it.
now we just live in that future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is funny that Eric, like as Eric brought up, that we are kind of cycling back to physical media again.
And piracy.
I love that.
They're
I love
definitely back on the
Well,
Pirate Bay.
Maybe if they produce more stuff that's good, we wouldn't have to pirate. You know what I mean?
And that's why this episode is brought to you by AdBlock Pro. It is the best. Yeah. Oh yeah. I use it.
No, but we don't talk
$10.
about AdBlock Pro because we don't have ads.
Yeah, the first rule of AdBlock Pro is you don't talk
we don't
about
have
AdBlock
ads,
Pro.
but we don't have ads, but we don't like seeing ads either. And it's $10 a year, and it'll block fucking all of your ads. You can watch YouTube, and it will skip all of the ads. You never get anything interrupted because of those fucking ads. And every time YouTube figures out a way around it, there is a day or two later an update from AdBlock that undoes what YouTube just did. I think it's the best money I have spent. You know, I got it during COVID. I have never stopped subscribing. AdBlock Pro, ask for it by name.
The only thing I don't like about AdBlock Pro is that every now and then it opens a tab in my browser to brag about how many ads it's blocked. And it's like, you know what? Just your job is to fuck off in the background, AdBlock Pro. Don't just
I think, but see, for me, it's sort of the chaos theory element to it, though. I don't mind the ads because at a certain point they become just ridiculous on their own. And so I like when you go on like Pluto TV or whatever, and you just get this incessant barrage of like pharmaceutical ads, but they've all got like the craziest names. And so my wife and I now just play a game.
Mild to severe something.
Yeah. And my wife and I play this game where it's like you see the name of the pharmaceutical and then you discern like is this how millennials name their children now? It's like, Trumfia, get your ass in this house. You're not supposed to be out there. You know, it's just like
That's the other thing. I hate it when I get ads that are like, Donald Trump's dick is so huge, right, guys? You got to vote Republican this year, otherwise everyone's going to come after your favorite president. And I'm like,
I don't know.
why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing this?
I go to the gym in Arizona and I'm getting the fucking TV commercials where Christian Ohm recruiting for ICE people.
Oh yeah,
that's
we all
fun.
see those. But yeah, when
I didn't see that
Texas,
until we went to Florida. Yeah.
fuck
And then I was
that.
like, oh, what? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's fun. But
anyway,
it's funny to me because like back in high school when we would do our stupid nonsense and we did like that whole thing with like an old radio program and we would actually work on making fake advertisements. And it's like at some point that just seems very quaint to me now. It's like that wouldn't even be part of that kind of thing now. So it's just funny to me. So I don't know.
This kind of gives me a segue for my contribution to the next segment, which I'll just introduce here. We talk about things we've been watching and doing in a segment called The Fresh Shit.
This shit is fresh.
Oh, shit, that is fresh.
stuff is really fresh.
He got you. He zoomed you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But
I could just feel his annoyance through the microphone.
I'm sorry, Brian. I heard your shoulders shrug.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mute you saying that, and then that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, but then you got to mute this part too. Do it.
No, just
Edit
chop
the
this
fuck
out.
out of this thing. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll probably leave it in.
We need another bumper of Brian going.
Yeah, the Kruger sigh. We know it well.
Anyway, so I was gonna do some other fresh shit, but it's not good. So I'm gonna just go off on this because this is a lot of what I've been watching. You know, it's been fun watching YouTube channels talking about things like the AI bubble and the Bitcoin crash. But the one I want to actually promote, and there's any number of places you can find it because he's like going on everything promoting his book. Is do you know who Cory Doctorow is?
Vaguely.
Not by name.
So Cory Doctorow is the guy who came up with the term Enshittification.
Okay.
Do you know what Enshittification is?
Hat tip to Cory Doctorow then, yes.
Isn't that what we were just talking about with Netflix?
I mean, it's specifically the pattern by which everything on the internet turns to shit. And it starts with capturing the users. So, and we can point to AI as being in this phase of enshittification, but it is like, we're going to make our new service really friendly to the users. It's Netflix in the early days, right? It's right. Facebook in the early days. Like, hey, it's free, it's easy, you can come in, you can get rid of all the things you don't like about whatever it is you're doing. Come on over to our thing, right? And then the second phase is now we've got you, and now it's hard for you to move because it's a social network and you don't want to, all of your friends aren't going to agree to go anywhere.
You're trapped.
Yeah. It's the sunk cost
yeah,
fallacy.
and so then they stop making it good for the users and start making it good for the advertisers, right? Yeah. And so in Facebook, this was the days of like buying targeted ads and all of that. And then once they've got the advertisers on, dependent on their service, they get to the third level of enshittification where they just turn to a pile of shit and they just try and extract as much value from both you and the advertisers as possible, all for the benefit of the company.
It's social media companies are basically just virtual strip mining enterprises.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, so this is when Amazon search suddenly becomes a who's going to pay the highest bribe to advertise their Temu shit above what you actually searched for. Right.
Yeah, right. And I get this all the time because I work for a company that basically does online coupons and things. And so during my daily routine, I have to go to a lot of different sites to check things. And my Facebook feed just basically extrapolates that algorithmic data. And I just see ads for just the most random stuff that I don't care about. But because I had to do it for work, it just shows up in my feed. It's just asinine.
When I was an SEO, I had to explain to people all the time that, you can, throw down some money and, pay to get your shit put on a search engine higher than the natural results. It's just nobody trusts it. So you're not going to make any, you'll be lucky to make your money back. Yeah.
And Google keeps shifting the algorithm. So even if you're trying to do like organic search results, it still fucks
because
you
they want that money. So it's like everything is aimed against you getting the quality result.
Yeah, exactly.
So, he's been going out and he'll do talks at like DEF CON and trying to talk, hackers into how to like fight enshittification. But ultimately it does come down to things like, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and the provisions in there that don't let you like repair your own shit. Mm-hmm. Car parts that only work if they're talking to other car parts from the same manufacturer and stuff like that can be circumvented. Jailbreaking stuff, basically. I don't know. He's just been a fascinating guy. And of course now my algorithm is serving him up to me in every context, but he works for the Electronic Frontier Foundation. He's a smart cat. I highly recommend, checking into Cory Doctorow and Enshittification.
That he was, according to the Wikipedia page, he was born in 1971, so he's squarely in the Gen X category. And enshittification is only a term that someone from Gen X could come up with.
Yeah.
What I love is that it's entered the popular lexicon and is getting said like on the news and is just like a word now, right?
Yeah.
But he has a book called Enshittification.
Okay.
So he's promoting it.
Nice. Have you read this book?
Subtitle, we know you're fucking with us.
I haven't read the book, but I've heard him describe it on so many contexts. I feel like I have, because he gets into like, and what can we do about it? And there's a whole, I'll at least let him get the money of anybody who's hearing my voice and wants to go check that out.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of, it seems sort of part and parcel with, what's the other book? The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's kind of, there's like this weird pseudo self-help version of like techno dread out there.
Well, the way this is getting to me is the AI thing, right? So AI is so clearly in the first phase of enshittification right now, where the amount of money it costs to build these data centers, to buy the chips, to cool them, to the electricity, all of that is being subsidized by investors in a way that the actual cost to the users of the AI is not the actual cost.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like that you saved it for this particular topic of show as well.
Well, yeah, I didn't. It just turned out that way
magically. The algorithm made it happen.
But yeah, and I've got all of these friends. People are programmers, right? And so they're having to get with AI or die. And I've got friends that are, in tune with like CEOs and investors, and they're like, yeah, they're basically all just holding on to their money until they figure out what jobs AI will actually replace, and then they'll invest in that. But for now, the only thing they're going to invest in is the data centers. Yeah. But what we're not talking about is the obvious next steps of the enshittification of this, which is fine. They're going to stop making it good for the users. At some point, this shit is not going, the bill's going to come due.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
it's already terrible anyway.
It will be useful for something. But a lot of people are going to go through a lot of bullshit and take pay cuts and lose their jobs for things that AI shouldn't be doing or won't be doing, because it is actually more profitable to just pay a human to do it. And those costs are being hidden. So
I mean, it's
to look forward to.
Consider okay, when OpenAI was starting to become an investment darling, Sam Altman was saying we're going to make our money off of basically the companies that use it to create their own solutions. We won't run ads. Ads will be our last gasp. Like if shit really goes sideways, then we'll include ads, but we don't want to use ads.
Yeah, now it's doing
they're doing ads. I mean, it's like they know that they're on the balls of their feet, that shit's about to undo. I changed around my 401k to get out of tech as much as I can, just because I know the whole thing is about to just implode.
Yeah, well, and the entire stock market is being distorted because the only stocks that are up are those ones.
The Dow is above 50,000. Okay. So pedophiles are all right to run our country or whatever bullshit.
Hitler killed 6 million Jews, but did you see the Dow?
Yeah, but the Dow's of 50,000.
Yeah.
That joke has permeated so hard that Shmo Yoho showed back up with Songify the News about that.
The Dow right now is over 50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. That's what we should be talking about.
I mean, at some point we'll get a Randy Rainbow.
That'll be on that bitch's tombstone, I guarantee it.
Yeah. But Randy Rainbow should be doing a song about it anytime.
Well, the Songify people got it pretty good. I'll drop a clip here, but anyway, I didn't know those guys were still doing that. My God. Anyway, you guys have better fresh shit?
I doubt it, but I can give it a try. Have you heard of the series of books by a guy named Matt Dinneman called Dungeon Crawler Carl?
Oh, yes. No, I tried. At the insistence of my friends.
Yeah, I found it.
Say it again.
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Okay,
and it's a series of books that I guess it's a subgenre that I didn't realize was a thing called lit RPG, which is basically just it combines conventions from like computer RPG games with like science fantasy.
It's
fiction.
literally an RPG plot, but
Yeah.
with a touch of Ready Player One and the
Yeah,
Hitchhiker's Guide thrown on top.
Yeah, and I was just, that's what I was gonna bring to it, because basically it's like aliens come to Earth and blow everything up, but then they create this like galaxy wide, universe wide televised game show that's kind of like Running Man as well. And so any of the survivors, like 10 million people who go into this universe, this dungeon, then become players, and they're called crawlers. And basically the gist is they have to go as far as they can through the dungeon in order to win. So it's got like a Hunger Games vibe to it. And
they literally get buffs and inventories and all this shit. Yeah.
And I'm about almost halfway through, and he's still on the first level before it like automatically collapses and got to make his way. But it literally is just them going through, and like any first level game, you're just learning all of the rules, and it's literally nothing but exposition. And he's got like, his companion is his girlfriend's cat, who managed to be with him when the world went to shit. And then the cat suddenly becomes like a sentient character and is just basically better than him at most everything. It's got more charisma, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just like this, and I don't play games like that anymore. So it's kind of tedious to a degree, but I still can't stop reading. I don't know why. Cause it's just not, to me, it's not that entertaining. It's like literally every sentence is just declarative. It's some sort of, like, here's the universe and here's the rules, and it's just as it goes. And it's just, I find it so not literary. But as I'm reading it too, I'm also thinking, man, someone's going to make this into a fucking movie or a TV show. I guarantee
they're merchandise. There's action figures at this point. They're
Seriously?
merchandising
This
the
thing's
shit
only
out of this.
came out like 5 years ago. That's insane.
No, so one of the things about RPGs as games, which again, Chris, I recognize you don't know or care, is so many of them have the quality of, oh yeah, it doesn't really get good until you're 10 hours in.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's what this feels like.
Go fuck yourself. Like,
yeah. I've been reading it. I have a buddy at work who also is into stuff like this. And I asked him just offhand, I'm like, have you read this series at all? And he's like, yeah, I think I read it a couple years ago. I'm like, does it get any fucking better? He's like, I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, my friends are all like, oh yeah, you have to get past the part where they get past the first level and they start to get into like the Hunger Games, like, promotional aspect of it before it gets good. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but I'm like way into this and none of that has happened. And
don't you have to kind of be into that stuff? I mean, who guts it out to the part where it gets good if they don't like the part they have to grind through?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we've conditioned a whole generation of people to put up with some really slow-ass, boring exposition.
And it's just this, like, from a literary perspective, it's trash. And trust me, I've read my fair share of trash. But the fact that it's so apparently insanely popular, I'm just flabbergasted. I'm like, what are people getting out of this? I mean, it's just it literally, there's nothing here. It's just move to the next step. Oh, we've succeeded. Now go to the next. This would be a much better video game in my mind than any sort of a
parody of video games. And I think that's what people are getting out of it, is that they've played a lot of those games. And so they're recognizing it's kind of taking the piss out of the whole JRPG genre. And okay, great.
Here's a little bit of a deep cut kind of a thing for you, and you may not even know what I'm talking about. But there was, back in the day, so like late 70s into the 80s, 90s, there's a series of fantasy books called Myth Adventures by a guy named Robert Aspirin, and
witty.
This kind of has that vibe to it as well, because it's basically just taking the piss out of all of the standard tropes of the fantasy genre at that time. And so they just involve the series, like the journeyman magician who doesn't quite get it right. And then he's got his like scaly demon partner who's very sarcastic. I mean, that's literally what's going on here. And I'm just like, it's just repurposed bullshit from years past that's now just repackaged into something that's unique, quote unquote. I mean, that's what it feels like. And I'm just, but I can't stop reading, and I'm so disappointed in myself. I really just don't know why I'm bothering, but you know, it's a good way to spend the day, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like any video game, you want to beat the level. You don't care how hard you have to grind. You want to beat that level.
Yeah, but fuck this level. I'm nearly a third of the way through beyond that, and he's still in the first fucking level. I'm like, so basically you're going to just ramrod the other half of the book to get through the other levels. I'm like,
just knuckle under and buy the power up. Bounced on this thing. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just at this point. I'm just obstinate now. I'm gonna fucking finish this thing. Oh fucking care. That's kind of where I am.
I'll show you, book.
Yeah. So, and I won't even read the second or third or eighth. No, but I'm gonna read the first one so I can piss all over it.
That's how I got through Moby Dick. I was just gonna fucking show it. Take that, Melville, son of a bitch. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think anyone won.
Yeah. No, I
not me, not Melville, not Ahab. We all lost.
Yeah. I tried to read, oh God, what was it? I think it was Tolstoy. I think it was like War and Peace. I'm like, I'm just going to sit down and read it. And I got about, I don't know, 50 pages in. I'm like, I'm out. I've tapped. I'm like, I just can't, man.
I find with Russian literature like that, it's a lot, and Dickens, it helps if you think of it as what it was, which is a series of magazine inserts. It's just you write a quick bit and then you let it sort of melt on your tongue for a day or two, and then you read another little bit. Yeah. If you sit down and try and just jam through that, I think it'll hurt your brain.
No, that's fair. And the Dickens call out is, I think, solid. I appreciate that. I hadn't really lumped that in. I guess for Dungeon Crawler Crawl as my last point, if every book is more or less like a module in the greater adventure, I could see conceivably how it works, but it's also just, it's not my type of writing. It's just so staccato, and I'm just like, fuck, there's no art to it. And I think that's probably what is so disappointing. It's like this kind of shit can make so much money.
You are showing your age is what's happening, and I'm about the same age as you, so I get it.
Well, yeah, but I also enjoy literature, and this fucking ain't literature, man.
Yeah,
so,
this isn't for you, is it?
I'm a snob. I'm a snob. But I also, go ahead.
No, I just want to say this is why I never bothered trying to read Ready Player One, because it's exactly what I was afraid of with that.
I was so pissed off when I read that.
It's so inside baseball with, VR and video games and shit that it's not really a book. Yeah. So what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. Well, here's the difference. Like Ready Player One was a disappointment just because it's so in your face nostalgic, and it was force fed. And I just didn't like that. Whereas something like maybe The Martian by Andy Weir has that same kind of vibe where he's making pop culture jokes and the whole thing, but it's organic to the story. And it's just not like, oh, we're going to make fun, Back to the Future. Oh, it's a shot. It's just, it was way more just some dude who absorbed the pop culture and like is being sarcastic about it because that's his predicament and he's just trying to get through it. I really like The Martian, fucking hate Player One. Yeah. Ready Player One.
Ready Player One is ultimately responsible for Fortnite, is what I'm going to say about it.
If you say so. Okay.
Anyway, Eric, you got any fresh shit for us?
Yeah, really.
I do. And I think this might be a little, I don't know, what is the word? Oh God, words escape
precocious?
Me. Controversial opinion here.
Mic drop.
It's been a while since I've watched a movie
It's been a while.
Oh, yes. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've watched a movie, and all the way through to the end, the moment the end credits start, I say, oh, fuck you. And that is the movie Weapons. I watched Weapons.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
This weekend. Oh, damn it. Okay, fuck. Well, then I can't spoil anything.
Yeah, don't spoil it because I still want to watch it, but...
Actually, no. It's tough. You know what? That's not going to be a problem, because here's the thing with Weapons, okay? And this is just my opinion. I don't want to ruin your viewing experience, but the story itself is paper goddamn thin. The movie is really about the way it tells an ungodly simple story, right? it's sort of doing a rashomon of what's happening, and bit by bit you get what's happening. And by the time you get what's happening, you're an hour and a half into the fucking movie. I'm sitting here watching this going, when am I going to know what movie I'm watching? I don't know what the fuck. And by the time I do, they conclude the issue, the problem, the plot. They tie it up so goddamn fast that I'm like, why did I watch this at all? You could have told me all that an hour ago. And no, well, because I don't want to write a third act. That's why I do it this way. And so, yeah, I was just incensed by this fucking movie, especially since so many people loved it. I'm like, okay, there's something here. Oh, they're really being sneaky how they're doling out information to me. Ooh, I can't wait to find out what's going on. I hope they don't pull a Lost. And they did.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my review of Weapons. Thank you for letting me vent.
I will approach it apprehensively once I do.
And tell me how I'm wrong. That's what I really want to know, is like how I didn't get this, that everybody. Yeah. Like I thought the same thing would happen with Sinners. That it was like everybody loved it, but it's going to fall apart for me. But no, Sinners was exactly as good as everyone says it is.
I mean,
this
I
is
felt
not
about
the
that
case here.
Yeah, I felt that about Sinners, and then when we did Nope a few years back, I was hesitant to approach that and ended up loving it. So that's too bad.
What's going on with Jordan Peele? Where's he? What's he doing?
He did that one called He. That didn't get well received. So I'm not sure what his next project is, but
I happen to know yesterday was his birthday.
Oh,
very weird.
Happy birthday, Jordan Peele. Belated. Nice.
Oh yeah. I guess
and as
he
a
did
side
do a movie
thing
last year. Okay. I don't know anything. Cool.
Yeah. And a side quick thing, I've been listening to a lot of Steely Dan again, and I finally knuckled down and listened to their 2000 album, Two Against Nature, which is good. It's not, I mean, if you like Steely Dan, if you're sort of a boomer influenced Gen Xer like myself, then yeah, you'll like it. What's funny is the story behind that album winning the Grammys. It swept at the Grammys in 2001, and it beat like NSYNC and Beck and Radiohead and like all of these big name bands. Out comes these jazz nerd boomers to sweep the awards, and as a result, a whole generation hated Steely Dan and the Grammys, and I love it.
Okay.
I think that's so funny.
Steely Dan is kind of a polarizing band in that way, right? Like you're either into them or you're really not.
Yeah, it's like I can see where people hate yacht rock. Because Steely Dan is yacht rock adjacent, but they are quite a bit more. They're actually they're better jazz rock, and I can see where people don't like jazz. So I get it. But there is a great song on this album called "It's a Shame About Me," about two people meeting up years later after college. And the person is telling them about how successful they are and how successful all their friends are. And this person has to be, oh, that's great. My life is shit. And it is so sad, so funny, and so Steely Dan.
So
listen
this
to
will be
it.
my theme song then. Okay, cool. No.
Yes, it's all of us, unfortunately.
Oh my god.
But it's not yacht rock. It's not yacht rock.
No.
Eat it.
What a
Definitely
great
not.
segue into our main topic, though.
Let's get on with it, shall we?
The name of it is "What a Shame About Me." It's track 2. Give it a listen. I highly recommend.
Okay.
Awesome. Speaking of,
Eddington.
my life is not great. Let's talk about Eddington.
Right?
So when you suggested this one, Eric, had you watched it yet? Okay.
Actually, yeah, I had just watched it.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of this guy because he understands nightmares. He doesn't necessarily make horror movies, but he understands. I think every movie he makes is some version of a nightmare, and
you're talking about Ari Aster
Ari Aster. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is a movie that is a fever dream. Partway through, I was like, is it even really happening? Is this his COVID dream?
Yeah, it was
debatable.
Yeah, it was fairly intense. Admittedly, I've not. This is my first go at an Ari Aster film.
Same.
Because it's just you hear all the stuff coming up, but then like you don't get to the movies, and then they kind of just I'll put it in the pile, and that's kind of where I am with him. So I haven't seen Midsommar. I'm probably never going to see Hereditary. Just
see that? Oh, see that first. Oh my God, I love that movie. But this is okay. Well, I guess we should probably give it the quick sell. This is during COVID times, and everyone is wearing a mask. The sheriff hates wearing masks, and so he is taking that right-wing reactionary position of fuck the masks.
Yeah, I can't breathe in freedom.
Running for mayor. Yeah.
Well, plus he also has the added bonus of he's got asthma, so he uses that as his excuse for not wearing a mask. So it becomes that weird unspoken thing that happened during lockdown, wherein people would just sort of take their own personal bullshit and use that as the excuse to keep everybody unprotected. It's like all of this weird shit going on. But I think then on a lot of it.
On the other hand, though, the people who are okay with masks, the ones who are, saying we need to mask up, this is actually an issue, are acting without any empathy towards people who can't or don't want to wear masks. I think that's a big problem. That's a big part of what's caused the issues in our society is who is winning this power struggle that we insist on having.
That's what the whole movie is about.
And that's what the movie is about. Exactly.
Yeah. But ostensibly it's about the sheriff who just talks about community and empathy and this and that, even though he's clearly got his own personal issues. And then you've got the mayor played by Pedro Pascal, who is sort of like the corporate interest guy. They're trying to bring in a data center to this small New Mexico town, and he comes across as very affable and forward thinking and the whole thing. But then he's got his own bag of bullshit, and then they kind of block heads, and then it spills out into.
He's the typical self-righteous liberal, where who looks down on anyone who doesn't get it, and the sheriff is the one who is, yeah.
And then they've got they've got history.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying they have history, so that kind of adds to the fire, as it were.
Right.
Well, every character in this movie is an archetype of our current situation in the United States. Like this movie is a big, ugly mirror being held up to all of us.
And it's fucking grim, this movie.
It is.
I got to tell you right off the bat.
I don't know that anybody comes out looking good.
No.
Right.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is the sheriff looking exactly like Jeff Bridges did like 15 years ago, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I kept thinking of Hell or High Water. He looks just like that.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on here, because then there's also all of the conspiracy nuts that pull all the QAnon bullshit off of the internet.
There's
and
Black Lives Matter people there.
Yeah, and because it's taking place during when George Floyd was killed in Minneapolis, and all of the resulting riots from that.
But it's happening in this tiny town in New Mexico where there's like almost no black people, and so you get like the performative allyship from the white people,
and it's butted up on the reservation, and so there's a lot of tense interactions between the sheriff's department and then the reservation police, and so that kind of kicks in, and so basically no matter what side you're coming from, there's always friction. And I think that setting it in this like nondescript, like small town in the middle of nowhere helps sort of microcosm it a little bit.
I liked also how everybody's, outer motivation is to basically they want to solve the issue that, is hurting us all, but their inner reality is they just want self-respect. And they don't know that. Everyone is hunting for their own self-respect, and they're doing it by saying, you're wrong. And I think that is just the smartest commentary on our society. That's what's fucking us up. So, nobody's listening to anybody. They're just broadcasting.
I will start by saying this is an excellently made movie, and it is probably the best. If you combine this and Bo Burnham's Inside, you have a time capsule of this is what COVID was like, I think, for the ages. And because it is such an unflinching and accurate reflection of kind of everything that's going on right now, I really don't want to watch it right now. Like, it's great. Can I watch it in 50 years?
I mean, you could, but I don't think it would have the same.
No, well, but I mean, it is. It takes no side, you know. So if anything, and that is a criticism that's leveled at this movie. It doesn't tell anybody that your side is the right side. It sort of is a pox on all your houses, and while I respect that, especially given the moment we're in. That has led to fascism, and we could use a little bit more judgment against fascists, just in general.
Yeah.
Well, I like the fact that
I get it.
Yeah, but to your point, the fact that every faction in this movie is basically going through the motions, more or less, and everything kind of just devolves into this weird soup of anxiety. Because that's what lockdown was like, especially in 2020. But then you have all of the added stuff. So all of the things online that they keep kind of just showing in the periphery, like just to kind of set the stage. And so you've got the George Floyd protest, you got BLM, but then you've also got like inject bleach into your veins, all that nonsense. Then there's all the mask stuff. But then you also have the larger picture, which is, you know, the corporate interests running government who are pushing that stuff onto the town, and then you kind of get all of that stuff, and then it all kind of just explodes. And then you have the backstories with the characters, like Emma Stone's character, who may or may not have been abused. I mean, it's just sort of like everything is just like so dread and just sadness. And to me, it almost sort of started to take on the vibe of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or John Carpenter's The Thing, where it's like, like the COVID thing comes in, and then you start to see how it infects the rest of the community, but in very subtle ways at first, until everything kind of explodes. I mean, it just, there's just so much going on here. I was just like, I guess I don't where's this going?
There's almost no fantastical nature to this movie at all.
No, I'm not talking about like an actual alien invasion. I'm just talking about how those movies take the concept of a quiet invasion and how it basically turns a community up on its head, and families upside down, because then suddenly people start having to pick sides based on where they are on this particular issue or that issue, and then all the chaos explodes. Whereas like The Thing, everything like wound up being very nihilistic. And then Invasion of the Body Snatchers, especially the 78 version, it just becomes this just like, oh, we are all right and truly fucked. And that's kind of how I felt at the end of Eddington. I was like, oh, fuck off, man. So, we are so toast.
Because that's one thing that is like going on the whole time is the business asshole in his data center. And the business asshole doesn't care about the Civil War. The business asshole wants to make sure he gets his data center, and he always wins because we are all properly distracted by our
that's
Civil
the
War.
point of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, the data center itself is creating the environment that causes all of the conflict, that causes each of these people to be, I mean, COVID kind of kicked it into high gear, but all of these people are in their own little isolated, you know,
social media
perspective,
and whatnot.
And they all think they're right, and they're not coming together as a community in any way. And it's just so damn on the nose what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching it thinking it's a very good companion piece to One Battle After Another. For our current times, it's a good statement on what's happening. But One Battle After Another managed to still puncture it with just how ludicrous it all is. This one is just like a fucking gut punch. Like we get to the end of this movie and I just was like, that is one of the grimmest things I have ever seen in my life. I was just like stunned
That is why I think he is so brilliant, that his whole oeuvre surrounds nightmares, because no matter how bad, the world seems in that last 10 minutes, this next 10 minutes, it gets even worse. And it just goes down and down and down. Yeah. And he never really finds the bottom. And I think it's fascinating. It's like, I shouldn't love this movie, but I absolutely love this movie.
I mean, I came away from it. I mean, it was like, man, it was rough, but at the same time, like that, it's not often that you actually see a movie these days that has that kind of a point and just punches it 100%. Yeah. And it just, and because there's a lot going on in this thing, and it could have easily just fallen off the rails at any point. But he just manages to keep it, like you say, like a fever dream, because as the movie goes along, Joaquin Phoenix's character gets COVID and then starts on his sort of dark path, and it all just lines up. The
far right guy definitely is the one bringing the violence.
Yeah. So it's just, and I don't want to say too much for people that may not have seen it yet, because there's a lot going on, but it's just every piece fit, and like you're watching it during the run, and it's just like, how is this even gonna make sense, because this is like a totally different thing. But then he starts winding it all back together like a tapestry by the end, and it's just like, oh man, chef's kiss. I was like, if this is what Ari Aster is able to do, I'm like, I'll give other movies a try. Sure.
I would like in the third act, it starts spinning out so brilliantly. All I'll say is Gun Store. When that happens, I go, he doesn't give a fuck anymore. This is awesome, but I don't know how he's going to pull it back. And then he does.
Yeah. Because at that point, I'm like, you're walking a tightrope, man. This could just totally explode in your face.
It just went silly.
Yeah.
It just went full Terry Gilliam. And I'd love to see how he's going to stick the landing. And then he sticks the landing. Yeah.
Yeah. But then you get the epilogue, and that's where the gut punch comes in. Because it's like, I went through all of that and everything still fucking sucks. I was like, God damn it, but it was done very well. Like, I went into this thinking it was going to be something like Lone Star by John Sayles, which was sort of another sort of lots of characters set in a border town in Texas, and it like delves into all of the unresolved racial issues of border towns. And he kind of wove this overarching story through the character drama. That's kind of what I thought it was going to be like. And then Aster just like goes off onto all these just like crazy tangents that I was like, oh, that's a bold story arc, sir. And then he pulls it off miraculously. I was like, what? So yeah, it was nutty.
I know, like, when this came out, a lot of the criticisms I read were about how, I don't know, I guess everyone was accusing this of being sort of a liberal fever dream of what's wrong with America. And then I watch it and I go,
just as shitty to the liberals.
The people who said that are exactly the people who needed to get the message and did not. And that's sad.
Which I think is hilarious, because like, especially with the BLM hangers on in the movie, like all the kids, and then they have these like ridiculous discussions about how they're aware that they're white and they're co-opting their privilege and blah 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 blah.
I don't have the right to even give this speech.
And it's just like,
I'm gonna just listen as soon as I'm done giving this speech. When he's like, that's
and then at the end, when he apparently turns into like a Charlie Kirk podcaster dipshit, I was like, oh, that is so perfect, man. That is so perfect. So,
which makes perfect sense. All he wanted was to get laid, the whole time. I'll do or say whatever I got to. I'm just in this for pussy. And in the end, he wins.
So a lot of threads. But also, I mean, I was very impressed with Joaquin Phoenix for the tightrope he ran, because that could have been just an off-putting, super unlikable character to anchor a film. And yet he imbues it with so much pathos that you generally feel sorry for the guy most of the time, and that really buffers all of the horrible shit that happens to a degree.
I think like 51% of, I know exactly what you're saying, and 51% of it I think is that voice of his that is fragile to the point of, you're worried about him. Right. And it's like he's a man baby who didn't ask for this. Yeah. But he's just making his life worse because he's not smart enough to know he should be better.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Eric, I want to kind of cycle back a little bit to the thing you were saying about the reaction to the film, right? Mm-hmm. And that people are arguing over it, and largely because the movie just refuses to take anybody's side. Right. I read a really good analysis of this on the site filmobsessive.com by a guy named James Lee, and I'll link to it in the show notes. But I want to just give this quote from it because I think that he kind of nails that part of the discussion. He says, "Here we are, staring down an event horizon devoid of solutions to escape it, the future reduced to a void in front of us as the reality becomes clear that we are merely consumable products. Yet, all we do with this impending disaster is squabble over a piece of art for knowing better than to endorse any one of our irreconcilable realities about a better future."
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say this. I think the critic from the Toronto Star, this is one of my stand-up quotes. It's a satire without laughs, a fright movie without jump scares, a Western without an obvious villain, a social commentary minus a moral compass. And I think that makes people uncomfortable, is when you go into a movie and they don't just spell it out black and white, people get really irritated. And it's like, that's not what this movie is trying to do. This movie is trying to make you go, where would I stand on this? And then you have to really embrace very uncomfortable truths. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Also, when all of the characters are archetypes for our times, what Brian said, which I think you're correct, and none of those archetypes are likable or correct, I think most people who have an axe to grind are going to come to this and only see, oh, they think I'm an asshole. Not see that it's a commentary on all of us. No, it's just, and my part in this is they don't see my point of view. Fuck them.
Which is hilarious, because that is sort of one of the underlying themes of this story, is the way that people only focus on the shit that affects them. So it's like, well, he's basically just throwing it in your face then, and that's making you busy.
They could have titled this movie "As If to Prove My Point." Yeah.
But as I was watching it, the main flow through for me was just looking at it. I'm like, this is one of the few things I've seen in recent times where it really just nails how messy humanity is. It's like, we're inconsistent. We don't make any goddamn sense. And yet we're all trying to sort of coalesce together in like a community. But then it just basically ultimately reassembles, collapses, reassembles. That's humanity. And I think it was very, very good at walking that tightrope, because I guess
my things go on in my personal life, and I don't talk about them on the podcast because it's my personal life. But like, entertainment is escapism for me a lot of the time, and boy, was this not escapism. This was like, hey, examine your own assholery, and here's a really accurate representation of the shit you're trying to escape.
Well, I mean,
thanks for that movie.
But this would fall squarely into sort of genres of years past, like the Italian realism, like Bicycle Thief, or like the late 50s into 60s UK realism, like Room at the Top. I mean, they're very uncomfortable stories, but I think they have a lot to say about that particular point in time. I think that's this. To me, that's what I got out of it.
I called it excellent for a reason. Oh man.
On that level, I do feel bad for having picked it, because Ari Aster is never going to make a feel-good movie.
Well,
not ever. So,
yeah. Yeah, so Eric's really been bringing the fun on the podcast the last few episodes with this and the one battle after another.
That's because I'm sort of a fiddle while Rome burns kind of guy.
Fair. You're not alone.
What?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to watch this, and it is recommended, know that going in,
Yeah.
This movie, it does not think that you aren't an asshole.
Yeah.
No matter who you are.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have anything else to add for it. Yeah. I mean, it's like you say, Eric, fever dream. That's probably the best.
It is actually, in a lot of ways, this movie This movie is a lot like Beau is Afraid, which is the movie he made before this with Joaquin Phoenix also. Except in that one, I'm almost positive that movie is a fever dream because it goes into actual, the word surreal is overused, but it is actual surreal cinema. It is if Fellini made a horror movie. Right. So this is the waking version of that. It's that same kind of, okay, let me put it this way. All his points are correct, but things may not be as bad as this movie lays it out because Ari Aster is all about dread. And I think someone else could have probably made the same film, but shown us where the door is. And right. That's not what Ari Aster is,
or at least a door.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, I think his full intent on this was just to show that, everybody has an opinion, but no opinion is correct. Maybe
until you all figure out how to talk to each other with decency, you're all going to end up quadriplegics. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Basically.
But at least you'll have AI and enshittification and data centers. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Can't get enough data centers. Love them data centers.
Love them. Love them. Anyway, thanks for the good vibes, Eric.
Yeah.
As always.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
We're going to upload this podcast to a data center, and then some algorithm is going to recommend it to you. It already has, obviously. And then you're going to like it, and that's going to influence the algorithm and the AI to fuck you up even more with more happy thoughts like these. And you'll like it and you'll rate it on Apple Podcasts, and you'll send it to your friends so their algorithms can do that to them too. Because why should you suffer alone? Right? Am I right? Okay. Yeah. It's the Magnificent Huge Podcast. We do this every.
I think we broke Brian.
No, so I have nursed that. You know this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
come on, bring it in. Who wants a hug? Come on.
Big hug.
We'll see you next week, folks.